Hello everyone. I'm putting this recording together to give you some directions on how to solve this particular homework problem in chapter 5. This is on finding the standard deviation from a grouped interval frequency table. So let me just go through the question first. It says the first two columns of the accompanying table provide a frequency distribution using limit grouping for the days to maturity of 40 short-term investments. The third column shows the class mark, this third column. With a sample mean of 68.25 days, use the group data formulas to calculate the sample standard deviation of the days to maturity data. All right, round final answer to the nearest 100. There's something wrong with this verbiage here, butterfly, but it's actually the investment days to maturity. All right, so this somehow is a typo in the question. Now, over here, we haven't been given specific values for the data. Instead, we've been given a range of values. All right, so 30 to 39, 40 to 49, 50 to 59. And in the second column, the frequency column just tells us there are three values which are in the range 30 to 39. One value in the range 40 to 49. We don't know the specific values of those three data points, but it could be anything between 30 to 39. All right, since that is the situation, how do we go about finding the standard deviation? I'm going to start with the formula for the standard deviation, the defining formula. So if you recall, the defining formula for standard deviation is square root over sigma, that's sum of x minus x bar squared divided by n minus 1. All right, now in your formula sheet will have a specific formula for the for finding the standard deviation from a grouped interval frequency table. Please look it up. It'll say that you have to multiply the numerator by f, and this is sigma f minus 1. All right, but I'll just I'll keep this times f frequency, and let me just walk you through a little bit without solving the problem for you. So over here we have in the first column days to maturity, the frequency, and the class mark. What is the class mark? The class mark is the midpoint of each of these intervals. How do you find the class mark? It's LL plus UL divided by 2, right? It gives you the midpoint of each of these intervals. Okay, now in order to solve the standard deviation problem, what you have to do is you have to do x. You have to have another column. All right, let's do another column called x minus x bar, and the x that we are going to use are all these class mark values. All right, x bar is given to us over here in this question. This is what x bar is. This is x bar. So x is 34.5. So 34.5 minus 68.25 is going to be a value. 44.5 minus 68.5. So that's what we are doing here. 34.5 minus 68.25 will give us a value equals x minus x bar. So you have to go through this list, through all these class mark values, and subtract 68.25 to fill out this column here. All right, now in the next column you have to square them up. So whatever values you found in this column, you have to square them up. So x minus x bar squared, so just square them up. Now there's going to be another column where you are going to multiply each of these squared values by f. All right, So you're going to do x minus x bar squared multiplied by all the respective frequency values. All right, so you're going to multiply them, and then once you're done with it, you're going to find the total or the sigma value. So this last column will need to be summed up. All right, and that's going to give you sigma x minus x bar squared times f. All right, and then once you get that value, this value, whatever you find here, is going to be the value of the entire numerator, then divided by n minus 1. All right, what is n? N is the sum of the frequencies. So in the formula sheet for the formula of finding standard deviations from grouped intervals, it will probably say sigma f minus 1. So instead of n minus 1, you will see sigma f minus 1. It's the same thing. All right, so divided by n minus 1 or sigma f minus 1, which should be the same values, and then find the square root. That's your standard deviation. What is the variance? Variance is the squared standard deviation. That means whatever value you find or get before you take the square root of it. All right, so this is how you're going to go about solving this specific problem, finding standard deviation from grouped intervals. Hope this helps. All right, in completing the homework.